Okay, alright. Here we go. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel.
Your boy got the full body do-rag out.
Top the roof and let the smoke clear.
Yeah, I did that thing again where I disappear. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The last quarter of nursing school was very rough. Med-Surg 1 was rough. I passed. I got an 84. Everybody applaud. I worked very hard for that 84. So yes, I apologize for not giving you guys the nursing content that I promised. It was a rough quarter. And as much as I want to say that I'm going to do better next quarter, I'm just going to say I'm going to try. I'm going to try to create the content because I know you guys love my nursing school stuff. However, this video is not that because I'm on break. And what do we do when we're on break? We enjoy everything that is not nursing school. So I'm not necessarily new to Booktube, by a long shot. However, I feel like I never introduced myself to Booktube. I'm a book talker. If any of you follow me on TikTok, you know I'm a book talker. But I started this channel doing books. I ended up going to nursing school, so I evolved my content. I also like to do get ready with me's, clean with me's, other things with me. That's why this channel is called Everything Deja. If you're new here, literally, it's Everything Deja, from nursing school to cleaning to books to anything. But this video today is going to be all about the books because I'm doing the newbie Booktube tag or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I watched someone else's video and I realized I never really introduced myself, so we're going to try again. I got my handy dandy iPad because y'all know I be forgetting things. So, again, we're doing the newbie Booktube tag, even though I'm not necessarily a newbie. But, hey, my name is Deja. I like to read books. Question number 1. Why did you start this channel? I kind of covered that a little bit already, but I had been on Booktok for a while, a few months, and a lot of people really were like, hey, we like your content. You should do a YouTube channel. And I was like, yeah, right. Nobody wants to listen to me talk for more than 5 minutes. Come to find out, somebody did. So I made this channel originally to share my love of books. I am an avid romance reader, as you can see from these shelves behind me. I'm also just an avid reader in general. So I started it to share my love of books with people because I figured that maybe, like I was a little 10-year-old, maybe there was somebody who looked like me, who enjoyed reading what I did, who would find my channel and be like, hey, look, there's other girls like me. That's why I started it. Okay, question number 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Besides my crazy personality, I don't know. Honestly, I would say that I like to read the darker, smuttier, more challenging books for some people. So I say that I bring the spice. Because if you follow me on Bookstagram, you know that my channel is called Spice Up Reads. So I guess the unique thing that I bring is I can handle Scotch bonnet level, Carolina Reaper level spice. So if you like that too, I'm here to coerce you into reading it, I guess. Also, I found that being in the book space, there are not a lot of people who look like me. There are more people now than when I say I joined Booktok and Booktube and book spaces, but just let alone that most of my favorite authors, which are Black POC authors, they're still indie published, they're not the mainstream published authors. Just, I guess, that unique prerogative of being a person of color, being somebody who likes to read, being somebody who really does like to push you to read books by other POCs, by other women of color, by, people who maybe don't look exactly like you. So I guess that's uniquely what I can bring to the space. 3. What am I most excited about for this channel? Growing, I guess. I'm a person who's going to keep posting whether or not I have followers. I'm just going to be honest. It may not be as routinely as I would wish just because my schedule does a lot of this, but growing, I think, is what I'm excited for because, like I said, I don't do this for the likes, the follows, the stuff. I do this because there might be somebody out there like me who used to watch YouTube, who can relate, who can reflect, who can see themselves in me, and I just want to give them a space to know, hey, we all exist out there. People who like to read weird things, people who like to read things that other people like to turn their noses up to, people who enjoy things that maybe, aren't stereotypically what is seen by that group of people enjoying. That's kind of me. My parents like to call me a unicorn, and I like to abide by that. So I think that the thing I'm excited for is just opening a space where people can be themselves, because that's all we do on this channel, and opening up a space where, like, maybe you enjoy something I enjoy, or maybe you see something that in yourself that I see in myself. Just a space where you can reflect and relate. And I think that's why I'm excited to grow, is to find more followers and things like that who mesh well. I honestly view this as a community for me, so finding people to vibe with and growing in that capacity rather than just doing it for, the money, that's what I'm more interested in. Why do I love reading? I feel like this is one of those questions where it's just like, this is a loaded question. This is a loaded baked potato. I love reading because it gave me an escape. I'm very open about my mental health and my learning disabilities on this channel, as y'all have seen. As dyslexic, I still am dyslexic. I will say that reading is something that brought me through it, though. I used to hate reading out loud in school until, like, I had a teacher who had me read books that I enjoyed, that I got more comfortable. Reading gave me an escape. Reading gave me a comfortable place. Reading let me be empowered. That's why I love reading. I get to just dive into a book, create a world in my head, get lost in it. Like, it's an escape from the real world for me, but it's also a comfort. Reading is not just enjoyable for me, it's a lifestyle. Like, I don't think there's a time in my life that I haven't been reading a book, or 3 or 4 at a time. I was the kid with the library card, I'm 28 years old now. I'm about to be 29. Ooh, in July, y'all. Cancer season. But out of my 28 years of life, reading has just been something important to me. Whether it had been like the books that we were forced to read in school that I ended up loving, or whether it was the books that I chose to read later, the fun genres that I get to read now, just getting lost in the sauce is what reading is to me. It's like a natural high. Like, you just get to go into a world of dragons, go into a world of mafia. You get to just go into a world that, doesn't necessarily exist, but it does when you read. Those pages are just fun. And I think that's the thing I love most about reading, is that you just get to get lost somewhere for a little bit. My life requires a lot of routines. My life requires a lot of being on top of things, and reading is my escape from having to be my A-type personality. It lets me be creative. It lets me just let go. And I think that's what I love most about it, just getting lost in the pages. I'm getting real personal on here, y'all. Okay, what's the next question? Ooh. What book or series got me into reading? This is another loaded question. This also requires me to backtrack a lot, y'all. Like I just mentioned, I'm 28. But the book series that probably got me into reading the most, there's 2. Yes, I read the Percy Jackson books as a kid. I loved them. That's probably my honorary mention. But Harry Potter and Lemony Snicket's Unfortunate Events, a series of unfortunate events. Those were the ones that I would say in elementary school got me. I was powering through those books. I went from reading under a level I was reading at because I was dyslexic and having a hard time reading out loud. So when you get graded, you're graded under because you don't want to read out loud. To reading at a higher level because I was finally finding enjoyment in reading and it was helping me to deal with a lot of my dyslexia. Harry Potter, Harry Potter did that for me. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events did that for me. Those books were everything. I would go to the library and the librarian would hold them for me, and like those are the books that really got me into reading. Um, After that, I just fell in love with the stories that were created. And then eventually I rolled upon YA romance novels. And that's probably what made me the romance reader I am today. Um, some of those books just, they gripped you, they held you. A lot of those coming of age novels. Ooh, let's backtrack to fifth grade and give a really big honorary mention to Where the Red Fern Grows. Because I'll tell you, that was back when you had reading schedules and you had chapters you had to read and like go over in class. Y'all, I read faster than I was supposed to because the book had gotten so good and it got to that pivotal point. If you read Where the Red Fern Grows, it's very sad. It's a very good book, but I was crying. That is probably the first book that made me cry because when that dog dies, oh, I was not ready. I was not ready. So Where the Red Fern Grows is really an honorable mention for me because I was supposed to be on chapter 4 and I finished the book. Shout out to my fifth grade teacher because he was the best and he was like, well, I guess you could teach the class now. Okay, moving on to our next question. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Shout out to Kimmy Books because she is literally one of my favorite booktubers. Shout out to Paperback Passionista because that is my best friend in the whole world. What I would ask them is, how do you keep going? Because sometimes I really lose the stamina to keep making videos. Sometimes I get in my head and I'm like, nobody wants to listen to you. How do you push past that? Like, as a content creator, how do you keep going even when like you start to doubt yourself? Because I know for a fact that we're all our hardest critics. And y'all out there watching are probably looking at me like, we enjoy your videos, Deja. What are you talking about? But me, I'm like, oh, no. Because I'm one of them perfectionist kind of people. So it's like, if I don't get a certain amount of views or a certain amount of likes, like, it's not what drives me, but it is a benchmark. So it lets me know if my videos are doing good. Like, what drives me is what I talked about earlier, but what keeps me going is seeing those numbers. And sometimes when I don't see those numbers, I get in my head and then I start to lose the real reason why I was doing this in the first place. So I guess, how do you keep going would be my question. Yeah, I think that would be my question to my favorite booktubers. We're on to question 7 out of 10 now. What challenges do you think starting a YouTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Being that I think I've been doing this for like a year now, staying consistent because y'all know I have not been consistent. That's my challenge to overcome. It's staying consistent, finding a posting schedule, trying to create genuine content and keep doing it because life can get very overwhelming, especially when you're in a fast track nursing program like I am and you have so many other interests and you're just trying to figure out how to balance all of that and still post and still like remember that you have a TikTok you have to post on and Instagrams you have to post on. So like just finding that like balance but staying consistent. That is something that we are working on overcoming this year. And we're slow creeping. But we might get there. Y'all keep me encouraged. That's all I can ask. Keep me encouraged because I'd be falling off my consistency like this. Question 8. I feel like I might have answered this already. When did I start reading? Well, the earliest that I can remember would probably be about third grade is when I started like reading for fun. Um, Second grade, yeah, no, I don't really remember reading for fun that much. Also, third grade was the year that I started going to the library when, like, I noticed my dyslexia was getting really bad. When I had a teacher and a librarian who really cared enough to be like, try this, try this. So, yeah, I'm gonna say, how old was I in third grade? Hold on, let's all think for a second. 8? Yeah, I was 8. So, 8 years old, third grade. That's around the Harry Potterish time for me. Um, Lemony Snicket's time for me. That was my genesis to my reading saga. um, Question number 9: where do I read? Everywhere. Y'all know that oh, I'm having one of those like brain lapses. That sound bit that's like, oh, I take a book everywhere. That's not a joke. Like, I always take my Kindle. I always have a book in my purse. Like, there's a book in my backpack when I go to school. There's a book in my purse when I'm just out. I can read everywhere. I don't have a designated spot in my house that I read. Um, Anywhere there's a surface my butt can land. I will say that I really do enjoy reading at cafes. I probably don't get to do it as much as I want. That's probably my favorite place to read. Um, if I could make like a little reading nook somewhere in my house, it just needs to be towards a bunch of windows, and I live in a basement. So, yeah, maybe one day, when I construct my dream house, I will have a room full of windows and shelves, and I will have a gigantic beanbag. That would be my ideal reading space. Windows. I love just being able to look at nature, or like a garden. I do love reading outside. Like I said, I just read everywhere. This is another one of those loaded questions. Final question. What kind of books do I like to read? I feel like you guys already know this, and I feel like I already said this, but let me just say it louder for those of you in the back. I love romance, but specifically, I like the raunchy, the smutty, the dark, the taboo, the content warning kind of romance. I will have a new video coming out soon because I already told myself I was going to do this. I will be finally reading Haunting and Hunting Adeline on here for y'all. Like, that's the kind of books that I like. The borderline stuff that people are questioning, like, are you okay? Like, morally gray characters are my favorite. Morally gray is my favorite color. I like trigger warnings. Like, it makes the story juicier to me. Like, yes, I love my simple romance books, but like, who doesn't want to read about mafia? Who doesn't want to read about monsters who have extra appendages? Like, come on, y'all. That's what I like to read. To simply put it, the smuttier, the better. I think I have answered all 10 questions. This is my newbie booktube tag, um, even though I'm not really a newbie, but I figured, hey, let me introduce myself on the book side of this channel. I've probably introduced myself a million times. I have no clue. This just seemed like something really fun that I wanted to do, especially because I'm on break and all I've been doing is reading, y'all. So look out for my next video, which will be the me actively reading Hunting and Haunting Adeline with you guys. I will be posting that in the next coming weeks. Other than that, I have one more week of break. Then we got some nursing school content coming towards you. It'll be a little bit easier because like the beginning of the semester is easy peasy. We're going on to Med Surg 2 and mental health, so that will be very fun. There's no real major holidays coming up, so like, I don't know, we got Easter, Mother's Day. I don't normally vlog on those, like, be real with you. I'm gonna just spend the day with my mom for Mother's Day, and for Easter, I'm probably just gonna eat some brunch, and y'all don't need to see that. So, look out for some reading content, some nursing content coming up soon. Keep me encouraged, y'all, because I'm really trying to be more consistent, like we talked about. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Go find me on my socials in the wild. My book talk is pretty funny. I also post a bunch of other stuff. I have like 3 different Instagrams. So if you like the book one, follow my book page. If you like food and you live in the Denver area, follow my food page. If you like just my crazy self, follow my normal page or follow all 3. Until next time, friends, see you later. Bye.
Kill that urge to be chosen. Choose yourself.